Good morning. We have Mr. Mohammed Amin from Maulana Azad University, Jodhpur. A very warm welcome, sir, from me, the whole College Dunia team, and the students who will be watching this.
Good morning. Thank you.
So, some students know a very bit less about you. Can you please brief me a bit about your profile, please?
Myself is Mohammed Amin, and I have a opportunity to work with several international NGOs also. I work with UN and some 4 international NGOs also. And some time back, I worked with Government of Uttarakhand also in the Department of Education. So thing is that my main motto and my main objective of life is how I can bridge the gap between the education and the community. So this is my core USP of my life.
That's a very great thing, sir, because once we go in the field, generally people forget about the community where they came from, and that's a very good thing that you're willing to return it back to the community. So you're the Deputy Registrar of Maulana Azad University. What's your philosophy of leadership? How would you describe your leadership style?
A very simple philosophy is that what sort of a platform we can provide to the most marginalized section of the community. You can say just acting like a catalyst, just bridging up the gap between the education and the community, and especially a target communities that which do not have education on their priority list. So a very simple philosophy is just to mobilizing the people, making them aware. Education is the only tool to address your all problems. Education is the only solution to address your all problems. Right. So we believe in a very simple philosophy. We don't have any hide and seek philosophy or any other philosophy.
So the education system in India and the foreign countries are structured very differently. In your experience, what will an inbound student gain from studying in Maulana Azad University, because it's more of a global world now, because if you have to prove yourself on global standards nowadays.
Definitely in India, because post-independent, we had tried a lot to develop our education, and being a very big country and being a very you can say underdeveloped country, we have a huge population living in rural area. So infrastructure is not there. Government is struggling. You can say they are just also struggling with creating the infrastructure and all those things. And when we compare with Europe or America or the outer world, that is it, because they do a lot of innovation in education. They do not hesitate to incorporate a new thing. They do not hesitate to introduce a new innovation. Compared to India, we are having a very, you can say, a fixed strategies of doing things. We have to follow so many. You have to follow the complete guideline of the UGC. You have to follow the complete guideline of the higher education ministries of the state and as well as the central government also. So, and I don't know why it is so. People are very hesitate to introduce new things, to do some new do some new experiment in the education. So this is the basic lacuna where I am able to find the gap. But fortunate enough, if you can see in the last 2 decades, people are doing a lot of innovation in India also. We are coming with so many innovative ideas. We are coming with the value-added programs. Although we are having traditional programs with us, but in traditional programs, we are trying to introduce so many things. Like I have already mentioned that now universities and other institutions are also trying to incorporate the new things, and we are in Maulana Azad University, we say that specifically we are collaborating with other universities, government programs, other NGO programs, national, international, so that we can address the demand of the market. We are focusing more on the value-added programs. So traditional programs are there. You have to follow the curriculum and you have to pass the curriculum. But just having the textbooks academically strong is not going to be beneficially benefit you more in the market, because we are trying to do analysis of the market, and then we are incorporating those learning in our education system. So we used to have a lot many programs with our students. Like say in the education department, we we are adopting the government schools, we are adopting the villages. Our students used to go over there, do a lot many research, and this is a win-win situation. They learn a lot many things what they have to be when they are in education and when they are in that field, in that domain. So what sort of a challenges presently is their community is seeing, and how they can address those challenges. So we are doing a lot of research in every field, and we are trying to incorporate those learnings in our core curriculum.
That's a very great thing, sir. Getting the students the field experience. That's a very great thing for the students also, because they learn from the field, and that they can apply their learnings later when they are working down the line. They can use those learnings to provide better results. So, any insights on how Maulana Azad University could be more welcoming to the students of different races and economic backgrounds?
The philosophy of the Maulana Azad University, and you can say the sponsor body of the Maulana Azad University, is Mahwar Muslim Education Welfare Society. And this society was established way back in 1929 by the then Maharaja Umed Singh of Jodhpur. And he established this society, and he gave the name, a very beautiful name, Mahwar Muslim Education Society. Mahwar is a geographical representation of this area. And just to boost the confidence, and just to have a confidence in the community, and just to boost the morale, they give a specific name. This is a Muslim organization, although it is open for all. And then they build a very beautiful school in that. But after post-independence, the school was overtaken by the government. But now we are having a very huge 2 campuses. And the beauty of this intervention is that we are open for all, first come, first serve. And we are taking care of very trodden down section of the community. So we used to say, and this is the philosophy of our working, is that if we are to take care of those students, those children, those who don't have either the marks, if they are coming with a very low grade marks, just you can say they pass with the grace marks. So we welcome those students first. In our priority list, they are on the top priority to get the admission. Because above 70, above 80, above 90% students can access admission form in other institution also. But those who are coming with a grace mark, or with the 3rd division, or with the 2nd division, they sometimes even don't access to the admission form also. Universities and colleges don't give them an admission form also. So we used to take care of that section of the community. And if they are financially weaker, so definitely we are having although we are charging a very low fees structure, I can say that it might be, and I do believe that we are on the most economics university in the India. I can say we are charging a very, very low cost in every courses. And despite that, we support a government scholarship program to be implemented. Each and every child, we push each and every child to apply for the scholarship. For that, we have a separate department for that. We used to assist each and everything to the student free of cost. They don't need to go to any computer center or any other else where they can have to invest too much time and too much amount for that. And apart that, we have a community connect. If the students are coming from a very weaker section, and unfortunately if they are not able to get a scholarship also, then we have a community connect. We used to connect the students with the community, and they sponsor these students.
That's a very great thing, sir, because saying it out that everyone has a right to education, and then actually working on it, that those are 2 very different things. And that's a great thing that Maulana Azad University is doing that to provide education for all. And that's even for the weaker section, even for the students who lag behind. That's a very great thing, sir. So what, according to you, should be the top priority of the university for next 5 years?
As I have already mentioned, that our motive is to connect the dots between the education and the underprivileged section of the community, and the part of the community which do not have the education in their priority list. So for that, we are going to them. Our teams used to visit in the rural area, and we motivate them. You come, we will serve you. And we are planning to have such kind of association with the community, where community say, yeah, this is our university, this is our institution. At any time they come, we welcome them, we entertain them, we used to give a proper counseling to them, and whatever the best suitable courses as per their requirement, as per their skill, as per their attitude, as per their knowledge, as per their education level, we try to bridge that gap.
Also, that's something which to look after, because I know it's already very hard to get students enrolled from the weaker sections of the society, especially those who are education is not a priority for whom. That's a very great thing, noble thing. I think Maulana Azad University is doing. So, may I know what are the greatest strength of Maulana Azad University?
Yeah, as I have already mentioned, that this is an initiative by the people for the people.
Right.
So, first of all, students feel that it is their university. It is not our university. It is a community university. First of all, they observe this relationship with the organization, and second, we entertain all those students. Like I have already mentioned, either they are coming with the grace marks or whatsoever. We used to give admission on the priority. We do not have any hidden cost in our fee structure system. Our fee structure is in public domain, and wherever there are n number of kids in our university, the student taken the admission, and afterward they come, yes sir, we are not able to pay the fee. Now what to do? So our management is so keen. Let's see how much you can pay. You pay that, and rest will be taken care by our mother NGO. So we used to waive a fees more than 1 crore per annum. So because the philosophy of our organization is that due to the scarcity of the finance, due to the lack of the finance, the student should not be denied from the education.
That's a very great thing, sir, because most of the institutions have somehow become business centers instead of being the educative centers, and that's a very great thing you are doing with the students, those who are financially incapable of paying.
See, boss, thing is that in today's scenario, health and education, they both are given to the market, and now the market people are controlling these both domains. Unfortunate. Education must be taken on the priority by the government, because if you are not able to invest on developing your caliber, if you are not have a priority to invest upgrading the skill of the community, how we can assume that India will shine? Although people are trying very hard, but if you can say majorities, 60-70% of the community is living in the rural area. They don't have even access to a good health system. They don't have access to a good education system. So, although it's a very small contribution, but we are trying hard to address to this section of the community.
That's a very great thing Maulana Azad University is doing, again, because this is something which is if everyone do their part rightly, there will be no gaps between, and it will be a good society overall.
Then it will be a ideal society for the community.
Yeah. So what is your approach to make a healthy environment for the students, a healthy, positive environment?
Like I have already mentioned, that we provide a platform where they feel that they are the part of this family. They are not the alien. They are not the student, those who come for 2-3 years, 5 years, and afterwards they will forget it. Whenever they enroll with us, so we try to give that kind of association, and we try to have that kind of environment for them where they feel that they are in their family. Especially, we provide a very conducive environment towards the girls. So, n number of times when we were sitting here at the time of admission, people used to come, and when we see seats are now been over, we don't have any seats vacant because in council seats and other there are limitations. You cannot go beyond particular number of the seats. So people used to request, we want our girl to be into this campus, and for boy we can go for some other campus if it is so, if it's not getting 2 seats. So that confidence is more important, and our whole management is just focusing that we need to give that conducive environment where a child, a children, and a student, and the parents and the community feel that this is a part of their home, their house. It is not an alien. It is not an some other's campus. It is their campus.
That's a very noble thing, sir. Taking care of the girl students, as well as making the environment in a way the students feel more at home, because that's the place they learn better. They are more creative. They are more, they are at their best, and that's a very great thing you're doing at the university, sir. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you see for the higher education and for Maulana Azad University?
A challenge which I have already mentioned, that because now the education is in the hand of the market, people are pretending that they are running education institution, but unfortunately they are not doing what they're supposed to do. Children are coming, and in case of our Maulana Azad University, it is again becoming a big challenge because we are targeting the rural segment of the community, of the society, and the students coming from the rural area are not even well versed of the any language. They are totally having a very unclear concepts. They have clear 10th, 12th, but they don't know how they have clear. But just ratta kiya aur pass hoke aage. That's it, fine. The major chunk is that they don't have that kind of attitude where they can see why thing is happening. What they have taught, what they have learned in their previous school is totally focusing on to the passing to the examination, and just after passing the examination, everything was wiped. So especially in the first year section, whenever the student used to come in a previous year, we have to focus and we have to do a lot of struggle in improving their language, improving their attitude, soft skills. So there is a lot of gap between the school and the college. People are not prepared to go for the college. People are just running out their schools, either it is any school. I'm not naming any school, but every school mostly in India is running just to pushing out the students without knowingly what they will do after this completing their school. So the students are not well prepared, I can say. So at this section, because we cannot blame anyone by jo ho raha hai, it's fine. So because that is beyond our control. So we have to do a lot of efforts to streamline, to sync them for the higher education.
That's something you rightly mentioned, sir. We are nowadays we are preparing more trained students rather than learned students, and again that is something which needs to be changed. And it's a good thing.
And students are coming in the higher education without having a very clear agenda, without having a very clear objective, what exactly they want to do in their life. They are doing, don't know why they are doing. They are in that section, they are in the humanities, they are in the science stream, they are in the commerce stream, but why they are and what they want to be in the future, and what that particular course will help them to achieve their target, to achieve their objective in the life, they are totally blank.
Right. Their outlook is not that clear anyhow.
Yeah.
So
it's very unfortunate because we are having a so huge potential in youth, but unfortunately youth is, I don't know where they are living.
Right.
And why they are living. Neither they are in a position, neither they are having an attitude to learn a good. I am talking about the majority. Exceptions are there. Always we are having a good students also, but the limit of the students are on the fingertips. 4, 5%, 10% students are good.
Right.
Those who are keen to learn, those who are on the right track, those who know okay, where they would like to be after 2, 3 years, 5 years, what sort of examination they have to crack, where they want to be, what is the career path. But majority, a major portion of the community is just की चले जा रहे हैं, क्यों कर रहे हैं? I don't know. They also don't know.
So, any pearls of wisdom for the students, aspiring students, basically, who are willing to join, who will be joining the higher education from now?
Like I have already mentioned, that the student need to sit and do their SWOT analysis. What are the strengths they are having with them? What they have learned in the past in schooling? What are the threats? What are the shortcomings? What are the opportunities are available? And now they have to take a wise decision, keeping their strengths in the mind, how to sharpen their strengths more, and what are the opportunities they want to grab, what they exactly want to do in the future, what exactly he or she want to be in their life. And for that they choose the career option, and for that they need to equip and to choose the education system, any course curriculum. Right. If anybody wants to be a good pilot, then I don't think they need to go for the graduation and post-graduation. Then just after 12, they can go for that. You know, if anybody would like to be a good engineer, then they have to be having a very good maths and physics. You know, so they have to focus on the maths and physics. It doesn't matter if after 12, if they are realizing that they are having some gaps in the maths. Okay, it is not a rocket science. Just go specifically and a pinpoint program. Just go for the 6 months. Have a tuitions, have anything. There are a lot of content available on the YouTube and other open source. Go and check it out, and then decide whether you would like to be an engineer. Because just taking an engineer degree is not going to solve the problem. Indeed. You need to be have that kind of attitude where you can go for some innovation, to where you can be a part of a problem solving. Because there are a lot of questions, there are a lot of problems in the market. Community need a solution for that.
Right.
And this education system equipped you to get that kind of a skill, that kind of attitude, that kind of a knowledge and a wisdom, where you can give the solution to the community. Right. So the counseling concept at 8, 9, 10th level, 11, 12th level need to be incorporated. And that counseling is not again just a formality. You cannot say okay, we have done a counseling. Counseling means a student must have their SWOT analysis within their hand. Yeah, this is my strength, this is my weakness, and these 2, 3, 5 weaknesses on the priority level I have to work. And how I will work, who will help me out, what time I need to do, what kind of finance I need to invest, that budgeting, that kind of a documentation need to be prepared by the students, and we as an educationist need to help them out. Then only we can say that we can come up with some good stuff and some good human beings, some good contributor to the community. But unfortunately, only the 3% of the youth is able to access that qualitative education. Yeah. But now we are taking care of we are talking about the 97% of the students. Indeed. If they are not in a capacity to access that good quality institution, so being a part of the institution system, being an academician, being a manager, this is our basic responsibility to incorporate those values, those things, and we can make accessible these good things to these students.
It's indeed, because I also believe in that once a student plans his journey, he should be clear. He should have a more clearer picture. We should have the kids in 8, 9, 10 should be counseled by either by the teachers or by a particular staff in the schools and all, so that they get a better outlook that what they have to choose, what they have to be, instead of just following everyone around them, following indeed the 3% around them, and then getting disappointed of being failed. That's a very good thing. If it is done, it will be we'll have a better structured society. So
sure.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your pearls of wisdom. Thanks a lot again for letting us know more about Maulana Azad University. I think this will help students a lot to make up their mind, to have a clearer picture of the university, and make good decisions. So thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for your time. Thanks for me. Thanks for me, College Dunia team, and a whole lot of students.
Thank you. So nice of you.